Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm excited to kick off this session with a focus on the architecture checklist. We'll be exploring how systematic reviews, governance, and operations are essential for building reliable, scalable, and secure analytics platforms. Over the next few minutes, I'll walk you through key strategies and best practices that can help ensure your architecture is robust and effective. So let's get started. This slide highlights a pivotal moment in our journey. The crisis we faced actually sparked a transformation in how her team approached deployments. It was a turning point that set the stage for a more systematic validation process, helping us move from chaos to confidence. Now, let's talk about what led to this. Missing dependencies, security gaps, and performance bottlenecks had turned what looked like a promising project into a complete disaster. It was a wake-up call that revealed how critical thorough validation really is. Then, in the dead of night, at 2 a.m., Sarah's phone rang. Another Fortune 500 Microsoft Fabric Analytics rollout was crashing. Imagine the pressure of those moments, the chaos, the urgency. That call truly changed everything. It forced the team to rethink their approach, to build a more reliable, step-by-step process that could prevent these issues from happening again. This was a turning point, transforming a crisis into an opportunity to develop a more disciplined, confident deployment strategy. It's a story about learning from setbacks and pushing forward with purpose. Now, let's look at some of the tangible results we've achieved through these strategies. First, on the topic of scalable deployments, by implementing detailed operational checklists, we ensured that our deployments are not only robust, but also scalable. This systematic approach helped us set a standard where scalability became the norm, making our systems more reliable as they grow. Moving on to team confidence, when we adopted a structured validation process, it transformed what used to be unpredictable into a predictable, repeatable process. As a result, our team's confidence soared because they knew that these deployments were solid and dependable. And finally, on reducing deployment failures, Sarah played a key role here. She introduced rigorous architecture reviews and operational checklists, which made a huge difference. Within just a few weeks, we saw a significant drop in failures, an 87% reduction, to be exact. All of these points tie back to our overall theme, moving from chaos to clarity. Through disciplined processes and validation, we've turned uncertainty into certainty, building a foundation of confidence and success. Let's talk about why architecture reviews really matter in how we deploy Microsoft Fabric. First, they are crucial for safeguarding our deployments and ensuring business continuity. By thoroughly reviewing our architecture, we can catch potential issues early and prevent disruptions down the line. Next, it helps us avoid costly rework and capacity overruns. When we do upfront planning through reviews, we're much better positioned to optimize resources and avoid surprises that can blow our budget. Another key point is performance assurance. Validating tuning decisions before deployment allows us to make sure our systems will perform at their best once they're live. This proactive approach helps us deliver reliable, high-performing solutions. And finally, architecture reviews are vital for risk reduction. They enable us to identify and address critical issues before they impact production or business operations. Overall, these reviews are a fundamental part of managing successful, confident deployments of Microsoft Fabric. When it comes to deploying Microsoft Fabric, it's crucial to understand that skipping reviews isn't just a small oversight. It can have serious consequences. The key point here is that the real question isn't whether you can afford to do rigorous reviews, but rather, can you afford not to? Because neglecting these validation steps can lead to critical issues down the line. For example, skipping systematic architecture validation can open the door to security breaches, failed audits, and even catastrophic performance problems. These aren't minor setbacks. They can damage your reputation and cause costly delays. And let's talk about the costs involved. Fixing issues after deployment, when problems have already impacted users, costs anywhere from 10 to 15 times more than catching those problems early during the design phase. That's a huge difference and really highlights the importance of thorough reviews. So, in the big picture, investing time upfront in rigorous validation is not just about following best practices. It's about protecting your project from much bigger, more expensive problems later on. Now, let's take a closer look at the 3 pillars of Fabric excellence that are essential for mastering Microsoft Fabric deployments. The first pillar is operations. This is about validating readiness, making sure your deployment performs well through tuning, managing costs effectively, and keeping a close eye on monitoring to catch issues early. These operational practices help us maintain a smooth and reliable environment. Next up is governance. This pillar ensures that we stay compliant with security, privacy, and regulatory requirements. It's about defining clear policies and controls so that our deployment aligns with both organizational standards and legal mandates. Governance is critical to building trust and safeguarding data. Finally, we have architecture. This is where we define the blueprint of our deployment, making sure our design choices are sound and validated before moving forward. Proper architecture planning ensures scalability, resilience, and that our solution can grow with our needs. Together, these 3 pillars, operations, governance, and architecture, form a solid foundation. They guide us from initial deployment to ongoing success, turning potential crises into confident, well-managed Fabric implementations. Now, let's talk about the importance of testing all external connections under load. This step is crucial because it helps us ensure that our system can handle real-world traffic without issues. Robust error handling is equally vital. We need to plan for potential failures and make sure our system can recover gracefully. When it comes to authentication and integration points, these are the gateways that secure and connect our data, so they must be carefully assessed and configured. Assessing the workload allows us to understand the demands placed on our system, and forecasting growth is essential for future-proofing. A good rule of thumb is to add around 30 to 40% headroom to accommodate demand spikes. This helps prevent bottlenecks during unexpected surges. Capacity planning then ties everything together by mapping out data paths, ensuring smooth data flow. Configuring private endpoints and firewall rules are key for securing our environment, and enforcing TLS encryption adds an extra layer of security for data in transit. When we think about network boundaries, it's important to securely separate development, testing, and production environments. Clear naming conventions and promotion workflows help maintain clarity and control. In terms of workspace hierarchy, organizing our resources logically makes management easier. Validating source connectivity ensures data sources are accessible and reliable. When designing transformation logic, it's all about making sure data is processed correctly before landing in our lakehouse storage. The consumption layers then allow us to serve data efficiently to users. Finally, designing the data flow thoughtfully ensures a seamless and reliable data pipeline, which is fundamental to mastering Microsoft Fabric deployments. All these points tie back to the overarching goal of moving from crisis management to confidence in our deployment practices. Now, let's focus on our second pillar, governance and security. This is all about maintaining control and confidence as we deploy Microsoft Fabric. One key practice is performing quarterly audits to validate role assignments. This helps ensure that only the right people have access to the right data at the right time. Regularly reviewing security incidents and policy updates is also crucial. Staying proactive helps us identify and address vulnerabilities before they become issues. Continuous governance reviews form the backbone of a secure environment. By automating data discovery and lineage tracking, we gain better visibility into how data flows and transforms across our systems, which is essential for compliance and security. Implementing sensitivity labeling and compliance reporting further strengthens our controls, allowing us to classify data appropriately. Labels like public, internal, confidential, or restricted, and protect it based on its level of sensitivity. Microsoft Purview integration makes this process seamless, providing a unified approach to data governance. When it comes to data classification, applying appropriate sensitivity labels helps us safeguard data effectively and ensures that the right protection measures are in place. Enabling comprehensive logging of access, modifications, and security events is another critical aspect. These audit trails support compliance efforts and give us a clear record of activity, making investigations and audits much more straightforward. Finally, enforcing least privilege through role-based access control, or RBAC, is essential. By documenting roles and conducting quarterly audits, we make sure that access permissions remain aligned with our security policies. Together, these practices create a robust governance framework that underpin the trustworthiness of our Microsoft Fabric deployments. Now, let's move on to Pillar 3, Operations Readiness, which is all about mastering Microsoft Fabric deployments and ensuring we're prepared for any situation. One of the key components here is real-time visual indicators, trend analysis, and active alerts. These tools allow us to detect issues quickly and respond promptly, turning potential crises into manageable situations. We also have health dashboards that help us track system health, user activity, and capacity. These dashboards use tiered alert severity and escalation protocols, so we know exactly when to escalate an issue and how urgent it is. Monitoring and alerting are critical. They enable us to set budgets, quotas, and alerts that prevent overspending and help us monitor capacity unit consumption on a daily basis. This ensures we stay within our operational limits and optimize costs. Finally, performance tuning involves validating partitioning, indexing, caching, and aggregations, especially under production-scale loads. This step is vital to keep our systems running smoothly and efficiently as demand grows. All these elements tie back to our overall goal, ensuring that our Microsoft Fabric environment is reliable, cost-effective, and ready to support our business needs with confidence. Let's take a closer look at TechVenture's real-world success story. They managed to master their Microsoft Fabric deployments, transforming potential crises into confidence. One of the most impressive achievements was launching their analytics platform with zero post-launch outages or security incidents. That means their system ran smoothly right from the start, providing reliability and security without any hiccups. Thanks to proactive measures taken during development, TechVenture experienced an 87% reduction in incidents. This highlights how early planning and strategic safeguards can significantly improve stability. Post-launch, they maintained an outstanding 99.97% system uptime from day one, ensuring their users had continuous access without interruptions. Another key point is the time saved in getting to market. By validating sprint deliveries and catching issues early, TechVenture was able to accelerate their timeline by 40%, giving them a competitive edge. And before even starting coding, they identified 23 critical issues during architecture reviews and operational checklists. Catching these potential problems early was crucial in avoiding costly fixes later on. Overall, this story shows how strategic preparation, proactive measures, and a focus on reliability can lead to exceptional results in deploying complex systems like Microsoft Fabric. Now, let's move on to slide 11, where we focus on the importance of ensuring accountability before going into production. This is where our architecture review toolkit really comes into play. It's crucial to involve all key stakeholders, platform engineers, security teams, compliance officers, and business owners, to get their sign-off. This collaborative review process helps us confirm that everyone's requirements are met and that risks are minimized before launch. We need to make sure that data flows are clear and secure, workspace designs are optimal, network security is solid, and role-based access controls are properly implemented. Audit logs are also vital. They provide transparency and traceability. Performance metrics and cost controls should be reviewed thoroughly to avoid surprises later on. Validation workflows cover three main areas: architecture, security, and operations. Each area has specific points to verify: 15 for architecture, 22 for security, and 18 for operations, to ensure a comprehensive review. And before deployment, we use detailed checklists to confirm all these aspects have been addressed. These pre-deployment checklists act as our safety net, helping us catch anything that might have been overlooked. By following this structured approach, we move from crisis management to building confidence, making sure our deployment is robust, secure, and aligned with business goals. Let's talk about how celebrating issue catches and sharing success stories can really boost our morale and foster a sense of pride within the team. When we highlight these wins, it encourages everyone to stay engaged and committed to our systematic review processes. Building a culture that views validation as a form of quality assurance is crucial. It's not about adding unnecessary bureaucracy, but about ensuring we maintain high standards and continuous improvement. To keep this momentum going, we should schedule quarterly reviews. These reviews help us keep our validation frameworks up to date and aligned with our evolving projects and goals. And after each deployment, conducting retrospectives is key. These sessions allow us to reflect on what went well and what could be improved, helping us update our checklists and share valuable lessons learned. All of these practices together create a continuous improvement and validation culture that supports our overall mastery of Microsoft Fabric deployments, turning challenges into confidence. Now that we've laid the foundation for successful deployment, it's time to focus on sharing our wins and establishing proven frameworks across the entire organization. This ensures that we maintain consistent excellence no matter which team is involved. Next, we want to scale these practices across multiple teams, and a key part of that is tracking how successful our deployments are, measuring success rates, and looking at how much we're reducing incidents. This data helps us understand what's working and where we need improvement. As we gather this information, it's crucial to refine our criteria for success, incorporating feedback from the teams and real-world results. This iterative process keeps our deployment strategies effective and aligned with actual needs. To start small but stay impactful, implement basic checklists on one project first. This gives your team a simple, practical way to ensure consistency without overwhelming the process. Ultimately, by sharing successes, measuring impact, gathering feedback, and starting with manageable steps, we build a robust path toward enterprise-wide deployment excellence, making the journey from crisis to confidence. Let's explore the key takeaways on mastering Microsoft Fabric deployments. First, transforming deployment anxiety into confidence is all about adopting the right practices. When we approach deployments systematically, what used to feel chaotic becomes clear and manageable. This is the core of turning chaos into clarity. Now, a critical aspect is governance validation. Ensuring compliance with security and regulatory requirements isn't just a checkbox. It's essential for building trust and avoiding costly issues down the line. Proper governance validation helps us stay aligned with standards and keeps our deployments secure. Next, operational checklists are invaluable. They serve as proactive tools to reduce risks and control costs. When we follow these checklists diligently, we prevent mistakes before they happen and optimize resources effectively. Finally, embedding systematic architecture reviews into our process guarantees that our deployments are reliable and high-performing. Regular reviews allow us to identify potential issues early and ensure that our architecture aligns with best practices. Together, these practices help us move from deploying in crisis mode to deploying with confidence, turning uncertainty into mastery. Now that we've covered the fundamentals, let's look at the next steps to become a true Fabric troubleshooting expert. The goal here is to elevate your expertise so you can handle deployment issues confidently and efficiently. First, we need to focus on addressing complex deployment challenges. This means not shying away from difficult problems, but instead approaching them systematically. Next, ensure system reliability by using advanced troubleshooting trees and diagnostic guides. These tools help you identify root causes more quickly and accurately, reducing downtime and preventing recurring issues. Finally, the key step is to resolve issues swiftly to maintain both system reliability and business continuity. The faster you can troubleshoot and fix problems, the more confident you'll become in managing Fabric deployments at scale. So, by mastering these advanced troubleshooting techniques, you'll move from crisis management to confidence, ensuring successful deployments every time.